Children, descendants of old Cadmus, why do you come before me? Why do you carry the branches of suppliants? I would not learn from any mouth but yours, old man, therefore I question you myself. Do you know of anything that I can do and have not done? How can I, being the man I am, do other than all I know? I were indeed hard of heart, did I not pity such suppliants.
Plague ravages the city. A blight has fallen upon the fruitful blossoms of the land. A blight upon flock and field. A blight upon the marriage bed. Oedipus, king, not God, but foremost of living men, we beseech you, always suppliants, to find some help. Uplift our state. Think upon your fame. Your coming brought us luck. Be lucky to us still. Remember that it is better to rule over men than over a waste place, since neither walled town nor ship is anything, if it be empty and no man within it.
My unhappy children, sufferers though you be, there is not a single one whose suffering is as mine. Each mourns himself, but my soul mourns the city, myself, and you. Be certain that I have wept many tears and have searched hither and thither for some remedy. Indeed, I have done the only thing that came into my head for all my search. I have sent the son of Monoiceus, Creon, my queen Jocasta's brother, to the oracle of Apollo at Delphi, to hear if word or deed of mine may yet deliver this town. I am troubled, for he is a long time away, a longer time than should be. But when he comes, I shall not be an honest man unless I do whatever the god commands.
You have spoken at the right time. They have just signaled that Creon has arrived.
O King Apollo, may he bring brighter fortune, for his face is shining.
He brings good news, for he is crowned with bays.
We shall soon know. Brother-in-law, Monoiceus' son, what news from the god?
Good news. For pain turns to pleasure when we have set the crooked straight.
But what is the oracle? So far the news is neither good nor bad.
If you would hear it with all these about you, I am ready to speak. Or do we go within?
Speak before all. The sorrow I endure is less for my own life than these.
Then, with your leave, I speak. Our Lord Apollo bids us drive out a defiling thing that has been cherished in this land.
What defiling thing?
King Laius was our king before you came to pilot us.
I know, but not from my own knowledge, for I never saw him.
He was killed, and the god now bids us revenge it on his murderers, whoever they be.
How shall we come upon their track after all these years? Did he meet his death in house or field, at home or in some foreign land?
In a foreign land. He was journeying to Delphi.
Did no fellow traveler see the deed? Was there none who could be questioned?
All perished but one man who fled in terror and could tell for certain but one thing of all that he had seen.
One thing might be a key to many things.
He said they were fallen upon by a great troop of robbers.
What robbers would be so daring if not bribed from here?
Such things were indeed guessed at. But Laius once dead, no avenger arose. We were amid our trouble.
But when royalty had fallen, what troubles could have hindered search?
The riddling Sphinx put such dark things out of our thoughts. We thought of what had come to our own doors.
But I will start afresh and make the dark things light. In doing right by Laius, I protect myself, for whoever slew Laius might turn a hand against me. Come, my children, rise up from these altar steps, lift up these suppliant branches, and let all the children of Cadmus be called hither, that I may search out everything, and find for all happiness or misery, as God wills.
May Apollo, sender of the oracle, come with it, and be our savior and deliverer.
Apollo, be it so.
What message comes to famous Thebes from the Golden House?
What message of disaster from that sweet-throated Zeus?
What foul things that our fathers saw do the seasons bring? Or what that no man ever saw? What new monstrous thing? Trembling in every limb I raise my loud importunate cry, and in a sacred terror wait the gods' reply.
Apollo, chase the god of death!
That leads no shouting men, bears no rattling shield, and yet consumes this form with pain. Famine takes what the plague spares, and all the crops are lost.
No new life fills the empty place. Ghost flits after ghost to that god-trodden western shore as flit benighted birds. Sorrow speaks to sorrow, and finds no comfort in words.
Death god, be gone from Thebes!
With a fair wind behind, out onto the formless deep, where not a man can find hold for an anchor flute for all his world-enfolding sea!
Master of the thundercloud, set the lightning free, and add the thunderstone to that, and fling them on his head. For death is all the fashion now, till even death be dead.
We call against the pallid face of this god-hated god, the springing heel of Artemis in the hunting sandal shod.
The tousle-head Naiad, blown torch and drunken sound. The stately lord of light himself, with golden fillet crowned, and in his hands the golden bow and the stretched golden string. And Bacchus, wine and sanguine face, that all the Maenads sing.
You are praying, and it may be that your prayers will be answered, that if you hear my words and do my bidding, you may find help out of all your trouble. This is my proclamation, children of Cadmus. Whoever among you knows by what man Laius, son of Labdacus, was killed must tell all he knows. If he fear for himself, and being guilty denounce himself, he shall be in the less danger, suffering no worse thing than banishment. If on the other hand there be one who knows that a foreigner did this deed, let him speak, and I will give him a reward and my thanks. But if any man keep silent from fear, or to shield a friend, hear all what I will do to that man. No one in this land shall speak to him, nor offer sacrifice beside him, but he shall be driven from their homes as if he himself had done the deed. And in this I am the ally of the god Apollo and of the murdered man. And I pray that the murderer's life, should he be so hidden and shielded, may drop from him and perish away, whoever he may be, whether he did the deed with others or by himself alone. And on you I lay it to make, as far as any man may, these words good, for my sake and for the god's sake and for the sake of all this land. And even if the god had not spurred us to it, it were a wrong to leave the guilt unpurged, when one so noble and he your king had perished, and all have sinned that could have searched it out and did not. And now, since it is I that hold the power that he held once, and have his wife for wife, she who would have borne him heirs had he but lived, I take up this cause even as I would were it that of mine own father. I will bring to light the murderers of Laius, the son of Labdacus, the son of Polydorus, the son of Argano. And if there be any who do not obey me in it, I pray that the gods send them neither harvest of the earth nor fruit of the womb, but let them be wasted by this plague or by one more dreadful still. But may all be blessed forever who hear my words and do my will.
We do not know the murderer, and it were indeed more fitting that Apollo, who laid the task upon us, should name the man.
No one can make the gods speak against their will.
Then I will say what seems the next best thing.
If there is a third course, show it.
I know that our Lord Tiresias is the seer most like to our Lord Apollo, and through him we may unravel all.
So I have been advised by Creon, and twice already have I sent to bring him hither.
If we lack his help, we have nothing but vague and ancient rumors.
What rumors are they? I would examine every story.
Certain wayfarers were said to have killed the king.
I know, but who was there that saw it?
If there is such a man, and terror can move him, he will not keep silence when they have told him of your curses.
He that such a deed did not terrify will not be terrified because of a word.
But there is one who will convict him, for the blind prophet is at hand, in whom alone of all men the truth lives.
Tiresias, master of all knowledge, whatever may be spoken, whatever is unspeakable, whatever omens of earth and sky reveal, the plague is among us. And from that plague, great prophet, protect and save us. Apollo, in answer to our question, says that it will not leave us until we have found out the murderers of Laius and driven them into exile or put them to death. Do you therefore neglect neither the voice of birds nor any other wisdom, but rescue yourself, rescue the state, rescue me, rescue all who are defiled by this deed. We are in your hands. And what greater task falls to a man than to help other men with all he knows and has?
Aye, and what worse task than to be wise and suffer for it? I know this well. It slipped out of mind, or I would never have come.
Oh?
Let me go back. You will bear your burden to the end more easy, and I bear mine, if you but give me leave for that.
Your words are strange and unkind to the state that bred you.
I see that you, on your part, keep your lips tight shut, and therefore I have shut mine, that I may come to know misfortune.
Do not turn away if you have knowledge. We suppliants implore you on our knees.
You are fools. I will bring misfortune neither upon you nor upon myself.
What is this? You know all, and will say nothing. You are minded to betray me and Thebes.
Why do you ask these things? You will not learn them from me.
What, basest of the base? You would enrage the very stones. Will you never speak out? Cannot anything touch you?
The future will come of itself, though I keep silent.
Then seeing that come it must, you had best speak out.
I will speak no further. Rage if you have a mind to. Bring out all the fierceness that is in your heart.
That will I. I will not spare to speak my thoughts. Listen to what I have to say. It seems to me that you have helped to plot this murder, and short of doing it with your own hands, have done the deed yourself. Had you eyesight, I would declare that you alone had done it.
So that is what you say. I charge you to obey the decree that you yourself have made, and from this day forth to speak neither to these nor to me. You are the defiler of this land.
So brazen in your impudence! How do you hope to escape punishment?
I have escaped. My strength is in my truth.
Who taught you this? You never got it by your art.
You, because you spared me to speech against my will.
What speech? Speak it again that I may know it better.
You are but tempting me. You understood me well enough.
No, not that I can say I know it. Speak it again.
I say that you are yourself the murderer you seek.
You shall rue it, having spoken twice such outrageous words.
Do that I say more, that you may be still angrier.
Say what you will. I will not let it move me.
I say that you are living with your next of kin in unimagined shame.
Do you think you can say such things and never smart for it?
Yes, if there be strength in truth.
There is, for everyone but you, but not for you that are maimed in ear, and in eye, and in wit.
You are a poor wretch, flinging taunts that in a little while everyone shall fling at you.
Night! Endless night has covered you up, so that you can neither hurt me, nor any man who looks upon the sun.
Your doom is not to fall by me. Apollo is enough. It is his business to work out your doom.
Was it Creon plotted this, or you yourself?
Creon is not your enemy. You are your own enemy.
Power, ability, position. You bear all burdens. Yet what envy you create, and great must that envy be, if envy of my power in this town, a power put into my hands unsought, has made trusty Creon, my old friend, Creon, secretly long to take that power from me. If Creon has suborned this scheming juggler, this quack and trickster, this man with eyes for his gains and blindness in his art, come, where did you prove yourself a seer? Why did you say nothing to set the townsmen free when the riddling Sphinx was here? Yet that riddle was not for the first comer to read. It needed the skill of a seer, and none such had you, neither found by help of birds nor straight from any god. No! I came! I silenced her! I, the ignorant Oedipus! It was I that found the answer in my mother wit, and taught by any birds. And it is I that you would pluck out of my place, happy, hoping to stand close to Creon's throne. But you and the plotter of all this shall mourn, despite your zeal to purge the land. Were you not an old man, you had already learnt how bold you are, and learnt it to your cost.
Both this man's words and yours, Oedipus, have been said in anger. Such words cannot help us here, nor any but those that teach us to obey the oracle.
King though you are, the right to answer when attacked belongs to both alike. I am not subject to you, but to Apollo. And therefore I shall never be Creon's subject. And I tell you, since you have taunted me with blindness, that though you have your sight, you cannot see in what misery you stand, nor where you are living, nor with whom. Unknowing what you do, for you do not know the stock you come of. You have been your own kin's enemy, be they living or be they dead. And one day, a mother's curse and father's curse alike shall drive you from this land in dreadful haste. with darkness upon those eyes. Therefore heap your scorn on crayon and upon my message if you have a mind to. For no one of living men shall be crushed as you shall be crushed.
Away! Away! Get thee from these doors!
I had not come but that you sent for me.
I did not know you were mad!
I may seem mad to you, but your parents thought me sane.
My parents! Stop!
Who was my father?
This day shall you know your birth, and it will ruin you.
What dark words you always speak.
But are not you most skillful at the unraveling of dark words?
You mock me for that which made me great.
Was that fortune that undid you?
What do I care, for I delivered all this town?
Then I will go. But first I will do my errand. For frown though you may, you cannot destroy me. The man for whom you look, the man you have been threatening in all your proclamations about the death of Laius, that man is here. He seems, as far as looks go, an alien. Yet he shall be found a native Theban, and shall nowise be glad of his fortune. A blind man, though now he has his sight, a beggar, though now he is most rich, he shall go forth, feeling the ground before him with his stick. So go you in, and think on that. And if you find I am at fault, say that I have no skill in prophecy.
The Delphian rock has spoken out. Now must a wicked mind, planner of things I dare not speak, and of this bloody rack, pray for feet that run as fast as the four hoofs of the wind, cloudy Parnassus and the fates thunder at his back. That sacred crossing place of lines upon Parnassus' head, lines drawn through north and south and drawn through west and east. That navel of the world bids all men search the mountain wood, the solitary cavern, till they have found that infamous beast.
Fellow citizens! Having heard that King Oedipus accuses me of dreadful things, I come in my indignation. How can I live under blame like that? What life would be worth having if by you here and by my nearest friends called a traitor through the town?
He spoke in anger and not from his heart out.
He said it was I put up the seer to speak those falsehoods.
Such things were said.
And had he his right mind saying it?
I do not know. I do not know what my masters do.
What brought you here? Have you a face so brazen that you may come to my house? You, the proved assassin of its master, the certain robber of my crown? What folly to seek a throne, having neither friends nor followers!
King, hear my answer, and then you may with knowledge judge between us.
You are plausible, but waste words now that I know you.
Hear what I have to say, I can explain it all.
One thing you cannot explain away, that you are my enemy!
You are a fool to imagine that senseless stubbornness sits well upon you.
And you to imagine that you can wrong a kinsman and escape the penalty.
That is justly said, I grant you, but what is this wrong that you complain of?
Did you advise or not that I should send for that notorious prophet?
I did, and I am of the same mind still.
How long is it then since Laius...
What? What about him?
Since Laius was killed by an unknown hand.
That was many years ago.
And was this prophet at his trade in those days?
Yes, skilled as now and in equal honor.
Did he speak of me at any time?
Never certainly when I was within earshot.
Did you make inquiry into the murder?
We made inquiry but learnt nothing.
Why did he not tell out his story then?
I do not know. Where I lack light,
I am silent.
This much at least you do know and can say out.
What is that? If I know it, I will say it.
If he had not consulted you, he would never have said that it was I that killed Laius.
You know best what he said. But now, question for question.
Question your fill. I cannot be made guilty of that blood.
Answer me then. Are you not married to my sister?
That cannot be denied.
And do you not rule as she does and with like power?
I give her all she asks for.
And am I not the equal of you both?
Yes, and that is why you are so false a friend.
Not so. I am no contriver of plots. And in proof of this, go to the oracle at Delphi and ask if I have truly told what the gods said. And after that, if you have found that I have plotted with the soothsayer, take me out and kill me. Not on the sentence of one mouth only, but of two mouths, yours and my own. But do not condemn me in a corner upon some fancy and without proof. What right have you to declare a good man bad or a bad good? It is as bad a thing to cast off a true friend as it is for a man to cast away his own life. But you will learn of these things with certainty when the time comes. For time alone shows a just man, though a day can show a knave.
King, he has spoken well. He gives himself time to think. A headlong talker does not know what he is saying.
The plotter is at his work, and I must counterplot headlong, or he will get his ends, and I miss mine.
What would you do? Drive me from the land?
Not so. Not banishment. Death.
You are not sane.
At least I am sane in my own interest.
Be so in mine, too.
No, you are false.
But if you are mistaken.
Yet I must rule.
Not if you rule badly.
Hear him, O thieves!
Thebes is my city, too, not yours alone.
My lords, I see Jocasta coming from the house.
She comes in time to quench the strife.
Unhappy men, are you not ashamed to quarrel about your own affairs when the whole country is in trouble? Go back into the palace, Oedipus, and you, Creon, to your own house. Stop making all this noise about some petty thing.
Your husband is about to kill me or drive me from the land of my father.
Convicted of treachery against me.
May I perish accursed if I have done such a thing.
For God's love, believe it, Oedipus, first for the sake of his oath, and then for my sake, and for the sake of all these people here.
Consent, O king, consent. Be merciful and learn to yield.
And why should I repent?
His oath should be his shield, who never played you false before.
You know for what you ask?
We know.
Say more.
He swore his friendship. Is it right to cast away a friend condemned unheard upon an idle word?
In asking this, you ask my death or banishment.
Forbid the thought. Oh, by the Lord of life, the Son forbid. Lost may I be to God and man if it was ever mine. But while our people pine, my heart is racked anew. If you, my princes, add your strife to our own misery.
Then let him go, even though it mean my death or exile in disgrace. Your voice, not his, has won my mercy. Him I hate forever.
In mercy obdurate as harsh in anger. Such natures earn self-torture.
Will you be gone?
I will. Unjustly judged by you alone.
Persuade, madam, persuade the king to go a while apart.
How was this trouble made?
Wild surmise and the smart of baseless calumny grew hot.
Each holding each to blame.
Just so.
For what?
Ask not again. Enough our stricken country's shame. To let this other rest where it remains were best.
A fine peacemaker's part your worships would have played.
Hear yet again, O king, believe us true. Could ours be such simplicity as rashly from his sheltering arms to stray, whose wisdom in the day of wrath upheld our land, whose hand again shall lead us through storm to tranquility?
In the name of the gods, king, what put you in this anger?
I will tell you, for I honor you more than these men do. The cause is Creon and his plots against me.
Speak on. If you can, tell clearly how this quarrel arose.
He says that I am guilty of the blood of Laius.
On his own knowledge or on hearsay?
He has made a rascal of a soothsayer his mouthpiece.
Do not fear that there is truth in what he says. Listen to me and learn to your comfort that nothing born of woman can know what is to come. I will give you proof of that. An oracle came to Laius once, I will not say from Apollo, but from his ministers, that he was doomed to die by the hand of his own child, sprung from him and me. When his child was but 3 days old, Laius bound its feet together and had it thrown by sure hands upon a trackless mountain. And when Laius was murdered at the place where 3 ways meet, it was, or so at least the rumor says, by foreign robbers. So Apollo did not bring it about that the child should kill its father, nor did Laius die in the fearful way he feared, by his child's hand. Yet that was how the message of the seers mapped out the future. Pay no attention to such things. What the god would show, he will need no help to show it, but will bring it to light himself.
What a restlessness of soul, lady, has come upon me since I heard you speak. What tumult of the mind!
What is this new anxiety? What has startled you?
You said that Laius was killed where 3 ways meet.
Yes, that was the story.
And where the place?
In Phocis, where the road divides, one branch to Delphi, one to Dolia.
And when did this happen? How many years ago?
News was published in this town just before you came into power.
Oh, God, what have you planned to do unto me?
He was tall. The silver had just come into his hair, and in shape not greatly unlike to you.
Unhappy that I am. It seems that I have laid a dreadful curse upon myself and did not know it.
What do you say? I tremble when I look on you, my king.
And I have a misgiving that the seer can indeed see. But I shall know it all more clearly if you tell me one thing more.
Indeed, though I tremble, I will answer whatever you ask.
Had he but a small troop with him, or did he travel like a great man with many followers?
There were but 5 in all, one of them a herald, and there was 1 carriage with Laius in.
Alas, it is now clear indeed. Who was it brought the news, lady?
The servant, the one survivor.
Is he by chance in the house now?
No, when he came back and found you reigning instead of Laius, he besought me, his hand clasped in mine, to send him to the fields to be a shepherd, that he might be far from the sight of this town. And I sent him. He was a good man for a slave, and might have asked a bigger thing.
I would have him return to us without delay.
Oedipus, it is easy, but why do you ask this?
I fear I have said too much. And therefore I would question him.
He shall come. But I too have a right to know what lies so heavy upon your heart, my king.
Yes. And it shall not be kept from you, now that my fear has grown so heavy. Nobody is more to me than you. Nobody has more right to learn my good or evil luck. My father was Polybus of Corinth, and my mother the Dorian Merope. And I was held the foremost man of all that town until a thing happened. A thing to startle a man, but not to make him angry as it made me. We were sitting at the table when a man who had drunk too much cried out that I was not my father's son, and I, though angry, restrained my anger for that day. But the next day went to my father and my mother and questioned them. They were indignant, and that comforted me. But the man's words rankled, for they had spread a rumor through the town. Without consulting my father or my mother, I went to Delphi. But Apollo told me nothing of the things for which I came, but much of other things, things of sorrow and of terror, that I should live in incest with my mother and beget a brood that men would shudder to look upon, that I should be my father's murderer. Hearing those words, I fled out of Corinth, and from that day have but known where it lies when I have found its direction from the stars. I sought where I might escape those infamous things, the doom that was laid upon me. I came in my flight to that very spot where you tell me this king perished. Now, lady, I will tell you the truth. When I had come close up to those 3 roads, I came upon a herald, and a man like him you have described seated in a carriage. The man who held the reins, and the old man himself, would not give me room, but thought to force me from the path. I struck the driver in my anger. The old man, seeing what I had done, waited till I was passing, then struck me a blow upon the head. I paid him back in full, for I knocked him out of the carriage with a blow of my stick. He rolled upon his back, and after that, I killed them all. Ah! 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 If this man were indeed Laius, is there a more miserable man in the world than the man before you now? Is there a man more hated of heaven? No stranger, no citizen may receive him into his house, not a soul may speak to him, and no mouth but my own mouth has laid this curse upon me. Am I not wretched? May I be swept from this world before I have endured this doom.
These things, O King, fill us with terror.
Yet hope, till you speak with him that saw the deed and have learned all.
Until I have learnt all, I may hope. I await the man who is coming from the pastures.
What is it that you hope to learn?
I will tell you. If his tale agrees with yours, then I am clear.
What tale of mine?
He told you that Laius met his death from robbers. If he keeps to that tale now and tells of several slayers, then I am not the slayer. But if he says, one lonely wayfarer, then beyond a doubt the scale dips to me.
Be certain of this much at least. His first tale was of robbers. He cannot revoke that tale. The city heard it, and not I alone. Yet if he should somewhat change his story, King, at least he cannot make the murder of Laius square with prophecy. For the oracle plainly said of Laius that he would die by the hand of my child. That poor innocent did not kill him, for it died before him. Therefore, from this out, I would not for all divination can do, so much as look to my right hand, or to my left hand, or fear at all.
You have judged well, but for all that, send and bring this peasant to me.
I will send without delay. I will do all that you would have of me. But let us come into the house.
For this one thing above all I would be praised as a man, that in my words and my deeds I have kept those laws in mind, Olympian gods and that high, clear Empyrean fashion, and not some man or people of mankind.
Even those sacred laws, nor age nor sleep can blind.
A man becomes a tyrant out of insolence. He climbs and climbs until all people call him great. He seems upon the summit,
And God flings him thence.
Yet an ambitious man may lift up a whole state, and in his death be blessed, in his life fortunate.
and all men honor such. But should a man forget the holy images, the Delphian Sibyl's trance, and the world's navel stone,
And not be punished for it, and seem most fortunate or even blessed perchance, why should we honor the gods or join the sacred dance?
It has come into my head, citizens of Thebes, to visit every altar of the gods, a wreath in my hands and a dish of incense. For all manner of alarms trouble the soul of Oedipus, who instead of weighing new oracles by old like a man of sense, is at the mercy of every mouth that speaks terror. Seeing that my words are nothing to him, I cry to you, Apollo, Lord of light, whose altar is the first I meet. I come a suppliant bearing symbols of prayer. Oh, make us clean.
Oh, make us clean.
For now we are all afraid,
Afraid.
seeing him afraid, even as they who see the helmsman
afraid. News! Good news!
Good news! May I learn from you, strangers, where is the home of King Oedipus? Or better still, tell me where he himself is, if you know.
This is his house, and he himself, stranger, is within it.
And this lady is the mother of his children.
Good news for your house, lady, and for your husband.
What news? From whence have you come?
From Corinth, and you will rejoice at the message I'm about to give you. Or maybe it will grieve you.
What is it? How can it have this double power?
The people of Corinth, they say, will take him for king.
How then? Is old Oedipus no longer on the throne?
No, he is in his tomb.
What do you say? Is Polybus dead, old man?
May I drop dead if it is not the truth.
Away! Hurry to your master with this news. O oracles of the gods, where are you now? This was the man whom Oedipus feared and shunned, lest he should murder him. And now this man has died a natural death, and not by the hand of Oedipus.
Jocasta, dearest wife, why have you called me from the house?
Listen to this man, and judge to what the oracles of the gods have come.
And he, who may he be? And what news has he?
He comes from Corinth to tell you that your father, Polybus, is dead.
How, stranger? Let me have it from your own mouth.
If I am to tell the story, the first thing is that he is dead and gone.
By some sickness or by treachery?
A little thing can bring the aged to their rest.
Ah, it seems he died from sickness.
Yes, and of old age.
Alas. Alas. Why, indeed, my wife, should we listen to the oracle of Apollo or to the birds that scream above our heads? For they would have it that I was doomed to kill my father. But Polybus has carried the oracles into Hades. The oracles as men have understood them, and they are worth nothing.
Did I not tell you so long since?
You did.
Put this trouble from you.
Those bold words would sound better were not my mother living. But as it is, I have some grounds for fear. Yet you have said well.
Yet your father's death is a sign that all is well.
I know, but I fear because of her that lives.
Who is this woman that makes you afraid?
Merope, old man, the wife of Polybus.
What is there in her to make you afraid?
A dreadful oracle sent from heaven, stranger.
Is it a secret, or can you speak it out?
Apollo said that I was doomed to marry my mother and to shed my father's blood. And for that reason I fled out of my house in Corinth, and I did right. Oh, there is great comfort in familiar faces.
And it was indeed for this reason that you went into exile?
I did not wish, old man, to shed my father's blood.
Oh, King, have I not freed you from that fear?
You shall be fittingly rewarded.
Well, indeed, to tell the truth, it was for that I came. To bring you home and to be the better for it.
No. I shall never go to my parents' home.
Ah, my son, it is plain enough you do not know what you do.
How so, old man? For the gods' love, tell me.
If for these reasons you shrink from going home.
I am afraid lest Apollo has spoken true.
You are afraid of being made guilty through Merope.
That is my constant fear.
A vain fear.
How so? If I was born of that father and that mother?
Because they were nothing to you in blood.
What do you say? Was Polybus not my father?
No more, no less than I myself.
How could my father mean no more to me than you who are nothing to me?
Because he did not beget you any more than I did.
Then why did he call me his son?
He took you as a baby from these hands of mine.
How could he love so dearly what came from another's hands?
He had been childless.
If I am not your son, where did you get me?
In a wooded valley on Mount Katiron.
What brought you wandering there?
I was in charge of mountain sheep.
A shepherd, a wandering hired man.
A hired man who came just in time.
Just in time? Had it come to that?
Have not the cords left their marks upon your ankles?
Yes. That is an old trouble.
I took your feet out of the spancer.
I have had those marks from my cradle.
They've given you the name you bear.
Tell me, for the gods' love, was that deed my father's or my mother's?
I do not know. He who gave you to me would know more of that than I.
What, you had me from another? You did not chance on me yourself?
No, another shepherd gave you.
Who was he? Can you tell me who he was?
I think he was said to be of Laius' household.
The king who ruled this country long ago.
The same. The man was herdsman in his service.
Is he alive that I might speak with him?
Oh, you people of this country should know that.
Is there anyone here present who knows the herd he speaks of? Anyone who has seen him in the town pastures? The hour has come when all must be made clear.
I think it is the very herd you sent for but now. Jocasta can tell you better than I.
Why ask about that man? Why think about him?
What, with a key like that in my hand and fail to find out my birth?
Why waste a thought on what this man has said? What he has said is of no account.
Even if I be proved the son of a slave.
For God's love, if you set any value upon your life, give up this search. My misery is enough.
Yes, even of 3 generations of slaves, you cannot be made base-born.
Yet hear me, I implore you. Give up this search.
I will not hear of anything but searching the whole thing out.
May you never come to know who you are, unhappy man.
Go summon and bring the herdsman here and let this woman glory in her noble blood.
Oh, miserable man. Lost. Lost. That is all that I can call you. No, forever.
Why has the lady gone, Oedipus, in such a transport of despair? Out of this silence will burst a storm of sorrow.
Let come what will, however lowly my origin, I will discover it. That woman, with all a woman's pride, grows red with shame at my base birth. But I think myself the child of good luck, and that the years are my foster brothers. Sometimes they have set me up, and sometimes they have thrown me down. But he shall suffer no dishonor who has good luck for mother. That is my origin. Nothing can change it. So why should I renounce this search into my birth?
Tomorrow brings full moon.
Hail, Mount Catairon! Hail! If there be wit in me, or any prophet power, tomorrow bringeth thee fresh glory.
Oedipus the king shall sing thy praise, and call thee his mother and his nurse. All Thebes shall dance to thee and hymn thy hill, because it is well pleasing to the king.
Apollo, hear us.
Apollo, hear us. Be this thing thy pleasure to do. Who is thy mother, child? Is it a maid, perhaps, of that fair family that grows not old with years, embraced upon the hills by roving hand? Or bride to thee, great Lord of Night, who loveth well all upland pasturage? Did Hermes or that dweller on the hills, Bacchus, from one of
attendants, his chosen playmates. Take the child for his delight. If I, who have never seen the man, may venture to say so, I think the herdsman we await approaches. His venerable age matches with this stranger here, and I recognize as servants of mine those who bring him. But you, if you have seen the man before, will know the man better than I.
I know the man. He was indeed in Laius' service and is still the most trusted of the herdsmen.
I ask you first, Corinthian stranger, is this the man you mean?
He is the very man.
Look at me, old man. Answer my questions. Were you ever in Laius' service?
I was. Not a bought slave, but reared up in the house.
What was your work, your manner of life?
For the best part of my life, I have tended flocks.
Where, mainly?
Mount Katiron, or its neighborhood.
Did you ever meet this man here?
What man do you mean?
This man, do you remember meeting him?
I cannot recall him to mind.
There's little wonder in that, master, but I will bring back his memory. You and I lived side by side on Mount Katiron. I had but one flock, you had two. For 3 full half years we lived there, from spring to autumn, and every winter I drove my flock to my own fold, and you drove yours to the fold of Laius. Well, is that right? Was it not so?
True enough, though it was long ago.
Come now, tell me, do you remember giving me a boy to raise as my own foster child?
What are you saying? Why do you ask me that?
Look upon this man, my friend. He is the child you gave me.
A plague upon you! Cannot you hold your tongue?
Do not blame him, old man. Your own words are more blamable.
And how have I offended, master?
In not telling of the boy he asks of.
He speaks from ignorance and does not know what he is saying.
You will not speak with a good grace. You shall be made to speak.
Do not hurt me. For the love of God, I am an old man.
Someone there, tie his hands behind his back.
Alas, wherefore? What more would you learn?
Did you give this man the child he speaks of?
I did. Would I had died that day.
Well, you may come to that unless you speak the truth.
Much more am I lost if I speak.
What would the fellow make more delay?
No! I said before that I gave it to him.
How did you come by it? Your own child? Or another?
It was not my own child. I had it from another.
From any of these here? From what house?
Do not ask any more, master, for the love of God. Do not
ask if I have to question you again.
It was a child from the house of Laius.
A slave. All one of his own race.
Alas, I am on the edge of dreadful words.
And I of hearing. Yet hear I must.
It was said to have been his own child. But your lady within can tell you of these things best.
How? It was she that gave it to you?
Yes, King.
To what end?
That I should make away with it.
Her own child?
Yes, from fear of evil prophecies.
What prophecies?
That he would kill his father.
Why then did you give him up to this old man?
Through pity, master, believing that he would carry him to whatever land he himself had come from. But he saved him for dreadful misery. For if you are what this man says, you are the most miserable of all men.
All brought to pass, all truth. Now, O light, may I look my last upon you. Having been found accursed in bloodshed, accursed in marriage, and in my coming into the world.
What can the shadow-like generations of man attain, but build up a dazzling mockery of delight, that under their touch dissolves again. Oedipus seemed blessed, but there is no man blessed amongst men. Oedipus overcame the woman-breasted fate. He seemed like a strong tower against death, and first among the fortunate. He sat upon the ancient throne of Thebes, and all men called him great. But looking for a marriage bed, he found the bed of his birth, tilled the field his father had tilled, cast seed into the same abounding earth, entered through the door that had sent him wailing forth. Begetter and begot as one, how could that be hid? What darkness cover up that marriage bed? Time watches, he is eagle-eyed, and all the works of man are known, and every soul is tried. Would you had never come to Thebes, nor to this house, nor riddled with the woman-breasted fate, beaten off death and succored us, that I had never raised this song. Friends and kinsmen of this house, what deeds must you look upon, what burden of sorrow bear, if true to race you still love the house of Labdicus? For nor Istar nor Thesis could wash this house clean. So many misfortunes have been brought upon it, so many has it brought upon itself. And those misfortunes are always the worst that a man brings upon himself. Great already are the misfortunes of this house, and yet you bring us a new tale.
A short tale in the telling. Jocasta, our queen, is dead.
Alas, miserable woman, how did she die?
by her own hand. It cannot be as terrible to you as to one that saw it with his eyes. Yet so far as words can serve, you shall see it. When she had come into the palace, she ran half-crazed towards her marriage bed, clutching at her hair with the fingers of both hands, and once within the chamber, dashed the doors together behind her. Then called upon the name of Laius, long since dead, remembering that son who killed the father and upon the mother begot an accursed race, and wailed because of that marriage wherein she had borne a twofold race, husband by a husband, children by her child. Then Oedipus with a shriek burst in, and rushing here and there asked for a sword, asked where he would find the wife that was no wife, but a mother who had borne his children and himself. Nobody answered him. We all stood dumb. But supernatural power helped him, for with a dreadful scream as though beckoned, he sprang at the double doors, drove them in, burst the bolts out of their sockets, and rushed into the room. There we saw the woman hanging in a swinging halter, and with a terrible cry he loosened the halter from her neck. When that unhappiest woman lay stretched upon the ground, we saw another dreadful sight. He dragged the golden brooches from her dress, and lifting them, struck them upon his eyeballs, crying out, "You have looked enough upon those you ought never to have looked upon, failed long enough to know those that you should have known. Henceforth you shall be dark!" The blood poured down, and not with a few slow drops, but all at once over his beard, in a dark cataract of scarlet. Such evils have come forth from the deeds of those two, and fallen not on one alone, but upon husband and wife. They inherited much happiness, much good fortune, but today, ruin, shame, death, and loud crying, all evils that can be counted up, all are theirs.
Is he any quieter?
It is his purpose to cast himself out of the land, that he may not bring all this house under his curse. But he has not the strength to do it. He must be supported and led away. The door is opening. You are going to look upon a sight which even those who shudder must pity.
Woe! Miserable, miserable that I am. Where am I? Where am I going? Where am I cast away? Who hears my words?
Cast away indeed. Dreadful to the sight of the eye, dreadful to the ear.
Our friend, the only friend left to me. Friend still faithful to the blind man. I know that you are there, blind though I am. I recognize your voice.
Where did you get the courage to put out your eyes?
Apollo, friend. Apollo. But it was my own hands alone, wretched that I am, that quenched these eyes.
You were better dead than blind.
No, it is better to be blind. What sight is there that could give me joy? How could I have looked into the face of my father when I came among the dead, I or on my miserable mother? Since against them both I have sinned such things that no halter can punish. I have doomed myself to banishment. I have commanded all to thrust out the unclean thing.
It had indeed been better if that herdsman had never taken your feet out of the barns or brought you back to life.
Oh, 3 roads. Oh, secret glen. Oh, coppice and narrow way where 3 roads met. You that drank up the blood I spilt, the blood that was my own, my father's blood. Remember what deeds I wrought for you to look upon, and after that, when I had come thither, what new deeds I wrought. O marriage bed that gave me birth, and after that gave children to your child, creating an incestuous kindred of fathers, brothers, sons, wives, and mothers. Yes! All the shame and the uncleanness that I have wrought among men. For all my pity I shudder and turn away. Come near. Condescend to lay your hand upon a wretched man. Listen, do not fear. My plague can touch no man but me. Hide me somewhere out of this land for the God's sake. Or kill me, or throw me into the sea where you will never look upon me more.
Here Creon comes at a fit moment. Ask of him what you will, help or counsel, for he is now in your place. He is king!
King! What can I claim of him, having been altogether unjust to him?
I have not come in mockery, Oedipus, nor to reproach you. Lead him into the house as quickly as you can. Do not let him display his misery before strangers.
I must obey. But first, since you come in so noble a spirit, you will hear me.
Say what you will.
I know that you will give her that lies within such a tomb as befits your own blood. But there is something more, Creon. Watch over my daughters, Creon. If it be lawful, let me touch them with my hands. Grant it, Prince. Grant it, noble heart. I would believe, could I but touch them, that I still saw them. But do I hear them sobbing? Has Creon pitied me and sent my children, my darlings? Has he done this?
Yes. I ordered it, for I know how greatly you have always loved them.
Then may you be blessed, and may heaven be kinder to you than it has been to me. My children, where are you? Come hither, hither. Come to the hands of him whose mother was your mother, hands that put out your father's eyes, eyes once as bright as your own. He who, understanding nothing, seeing nothing, became your father by her that bore him. Ah, son of Monoichus, listen. Seeing that you are the only father now left to them, for we, their parents, are lost, both of us lost. Do not let them wander in beggary. Are they not your own kindred? Do not let them sink down into my misery. No, pity them. seeing them utterly wretched in helpless childhood if you do not protect them. Show me that you promise, generous man, by touching me with your hand. My children, there is much advice that I could give you were you but old enough to understand it. But all that I can do now is to bid you pray that you may live wherever you are let live, and that your life may be happier than your father's.
Enough of tears. Pass into the house.
Banish me from this country. I know that nothing can destroy me, for I await some incredible fate. It is time to lead me away.
Go, but let your children come within.
No, do not take them from me!
Do not seek to be master. You won the mastery, but could not keep it to the end.
Make way for Oedipus.
All people said, "That is a fortunate man." And now what storms are beating on his head? Call no man fortunate that is not dead, but a dead